Hello and welcome to this broadcast today on Biodiversity Day, the 22nd of May. This is the realization of an incredible journey that began several years ago. It was a journey that began in anxiety and fear for my children's future. That anxiety hasn't entirely gone away, but working on this project has given me so much kind of inspiration and hope, and it's also informed me. And one way of dealing with fear and anxiety is to inform yourself, of course. It began before the pandemic, which none of us foresaw, or maybe some virologists did, but your average person did not foresee the pandemic coming. And the irony is that we were going to try and assemble large groups of people to make the images that we're going to make today in other forms, in mosaic formats, in flower bed formats, in assembling in digital formats, all kinds of different formats that in the end sort of that actually ironically reflect the sort of diversity of people's circumstances around the world, and in a way I feel reflect the very biological diversity, which is the diversity of habitats and creatures that have evolved to live in them, that make up life on this planet and what we want to celebrate today and urge for the protection of. So it's kind of an irony that that's happened, but I, through this project, have met so many incredible people around the world. And that's another thing that has given me an immense amount of hope, because to meet people on the far side of the planet that are prepared to pitch their lot in for a very ambitious idea with someone that they've never met before in their life, and actually have still never physically met. Some of us are still just meeting kind of on Zoom chats and messenger chats, even now in the days before this broadcast, when we've been conversing with each other on messages and emails for months. But the fact that people are prepared to just put their lot in with somebody for an idea, something that catches their imagination and that they believe in, that is something that is kind of, for me, the essence of what's great about creativity. When I worked in radio, I remember that there was a colleague of mine who had a postcard up on his door, and it said, "If it's in your head, it's on your radio." And with this project, it was those people who received my initial email out of the blue and just read it and immediately could imagine a giant image of an endangered species that they cared about in their region. They could imagine that in their head, and they were prepared to follow that vision, that creative vision through. That to me is amazing and inspirational, and I thank every one of them for that. And there have been many changes in the network of locations, because in the course of 2 years, people's lives move on, things change, people have babies, people die, people change jobs. So many things have changed, but in the end, a core of kind of locations have come through. And again, in one of the many ironies, we had to pre-record a couple of our locations. Most of them are making their images live today, but a couple of them needed to be pre-recorded. And the first to pre-record was Lakewold Gardens, which is the image that you'll see last at the very end of the day. And they came on board, they were the most recent location to come on board, only a few months ago. But they went for it, and they came on board, and they pitched for it, and they've produced a fantastic image. So yeah, amazing people have been involved. Excuse me while I just look at my notes. Yeah, and as well as the pandemic leading to us having to come up with creative solutions and find ways round when we couldn't just get people to come and participate in mass events anymore, it's also led to all kinds of unforeseen circumstances. And one of the things that I say to myself, because obviously today is a highly ambitious broadcast, even for a funded broadcaster to try and coordinate, but for a bunch of basically amateurs, unfunded amateurs. It is highly ambitious. And when I've had sleepless nights and mornings, waking up early, sort of worrying about what's going to happen and whether anything's going to happen, I try and remind myself of some of the amazing things that have already happened as a result of this project, not just for me personally, but in terms of touching people's lives. And that's what it's all about. We're trying to touch people's lives and remind them of the things that matter, and remind them that without the biodiversity out there, then there won't be anything because biodiversity is the sustenance and the support and the fabric of our lives. Yeah, what I was going to say was that unforeseen and unpredicted collaborations have taken place. One of them has been the collaboration with the Little Art School in Ayr in Scotland, who have done videos for us, getting children. I mean, one of the high points, in a way, of the project for me has been seeing photos, and you'll see them later on today, of school children in Ghana participating in the project by watching drawing tutorials prepared in Scotland by Joanne Robinson, so that they could learn to draw one of their own endangered species, the white-necked Picathartes, and just seeing them all standing there in the sunshine in Ghana holding up their pictures and knowing, you know, that they had done something special that day that they might remember, especially the person who had actually applied feathers to their drawing. I mean, you could see how much that person had got into doing their drawing, and you just knew it was going to be something memorable for them. So many unpredictable things have happened, and yeah, as I began saying at the start, I mean, well, I hope that you will enjoy the journey today, which I think reflects the variety of people and places and circumstances that are reflected in that have taken part in this project, that have participated, that are part of the network. I said that I had received a lot of inspiration and hope from just learning about the situation, I mean, for me, the overriding message that I've learned is that really steps that we began taking personally as a family to move away from eating meat and eat much more plant-based food and just be careful about where our food is sourced from. That is the overriding message that I have received from people that I've interviewed and talked to about this project, and just realizing that really does make a difference, and that that's something that I can do myself. I hope that's something that people will take away from today. We hope that you will enjoy all the resources that we've managed to assemble for you to watch today, not just about the species, but also about the subject, just learning about what biodiversity is, the challenges it's facing, what's being done to protect it, what we can do to protect it. You know, nobody's expecting you to watch a 20-hour broadcast with a couple of breaks in between, but you can dip in, you can come back, it will remain on the channel, and we just hope that it will become a resource for people to dip into and spread and share with their friends, and get more involved in this issue, because biodiversity is us. The planet is our home. Nature, as Dr. Mike Barrett of the WWF pointed out, nature is not only our home, but it's also us. So this is an issue that is profoundly related to us and our survival, and we should all try and inform ourselves and think a bit about it. So enjoy the broadcast. Thank you. Bye.